Hi, everyone, and welcome to Methods of Research and Education. My name is Dr. Martin, and I'm going to be the instructor this summer. So I wanted to create this video for you to give you an overview of this course, go over the syllabus, talk about the assignments, and let you know what to expect. So I will start with a brief welcome and introduction to me. You'll have access to this so you can look more in detail if you're interested. Like I mentioned, my name is Ann Martin, and I teach research methods classes like this one at Georgia State. I also teach third grade here in Atlanta. As far as my research interests, I am interested in the intersection of social policy and education, things like the Beltline, things like displacement and gentrification in our city and how that affects schools. So, like I mentioned, I wanted to start off by going through the syllabus with you. So I'm going to go through that and I will show you where to find it in iCollege as well. So this is our syllabus. So again, you'll have access to this in iCollege, so you can look through it whenever you need to. Here's my email. I am available via Zoom by appointment for office hours. So here you can see the course description and the goals of the course. So the main goals of the course is to understand educational research methods, the different types of methods from qualitative, quantitative to mixed research, to the different principles that you need in order to design research. So not only are you going to understand the different approaches to educational research, you are going to be able to critique research studies, be able to summarize research studies, and talk about the research methods that they used. You're going to be able to go into the ethics involved in educational research, the different approaches, and then in the end of this class, you are going to craft your own research proposal, showing that you have understood the different methods and means that you can use to carry out research design. So hopefully once you get into the course, you will see that all the assignments and readings are aligned with these goals and objectives. So here are the course policies for you to review. I put a link to this in the announcements course as well, so you can go through the course policies. Here is the required textbook. Here is the publisher page for the textbook. We are using educational research, quantitative, qualitative, and mixed approaches. The authors are Johnson and Christensen, and we are using the 7th edition. So you can use the hardback copy, you can use an e-copy. An e-copy is fine. I use an e-copy. This book is available for purchase. There are also rentals available, so you can access the course. Now, on this publisher link, you can see this link here. This is resources for students, extra practice, and examples that you can use as you go through the chapters. So that is the text. And then here are the core course assignments. So the course, I designed it out of 100 points. So 10 of those points are going to be from City Training, which has to do with research ethics. You can see the due date here. Now, this is asynchronous, so your weekly readings, lecture, participation, and discussion are going to happen on Perusal. I'm going to show you a bit later in this video how to do that, and that is going to be weekly on Wednesdays and Sundays. So each Wednesday and each Sunday, you'll have assigned chapters of the text, and then you will do your Perusal assignment to go with those chapters as part of your weekly participation and discussion. There's going to be 2 exams this summer. There's going to be a midterm and a final exam. There's going to be an article critique where you get to choose an article and critique it based on what you learned this semester about educational research. And then, of course, your research proposal and presentation. So here you can see where your points come from, and I will go into those a little bit more as well. So this is the weekly schedule. So this is a 7-week course. Now, you've taken summer courses before, you know that they are very accelerated. So typically a course is 15 weeks, but the summer course is 7 weeks plus finals. So because of that, this course is going to require additional attention from you to complete it in the 7 weeks. So when you look at the course schedule, I've broken it down into week 1 through week 7 and then the finals. So each week you have a segment of the course that you will complete by Wednesday of that week, and then the other part that is due by Sunday. So you can see here for week 1, this is the section that you do by the Wednesday, and this is the section that you do by Sunday. And so they're due by end of day. I put 11:59. So you have the whole day and the week to do those. And you will have access to both of these assignments at the beginning of each week if you want to work ahead, but it will be 1 week at a time. I highlighted weeks that have additional assignments due, for instance, the midterm or research proposal assignments. Now, the beginning of the course is heavy on reading the text, doing your perusal discussions. And then as we get into our research proposal, you can see there might only be 1 chapter per week as opposed to the 2 and sometimes 3 that we are reading in the beginning part of the summer. Now here at the bottom of the syllabus are the descriptions, detailed descriptions of each assignment. Now I'll also be going over these assignments in video like this to talk to you about how to complete them as we get closer, but everything is here to so you can take a big picture look at what you'll be doing in the course. So the first one is a city training, which is a training that all educational researchers complete. And so you will go through those modules and you will upload your certificate of completion to iCollege. This is worth 10 points or 10% of your grade. And this will happen in week 2 of the course. And it will also go along with what we're reading in the textbook for that section. Now, the biggest portion of your grade will come from your readings, your discussion, and your participation. So these are going to be, those are the Wednesdays and the Sundays that I showed you on the course schedule on Perusal. And Perusal might be a new app for most of you. I'm going to show you what that looks like and how to do it. So those will be bi-weekly, so Wednesday and Sunday. And each perusal is worth 3 participation points. So when you go to the perusal, there will be a lecture video, there will be PowerPoint review notes to go with the chapters, and then there'll also be discussion questions and then multiple choice questions. So when you are doing those, you'll watch the lecture, you'll leave an annotation or 2, you'll review the notes. If you have any questions for me about the content of the chapter, that's where you put them. And then the chapter discussion, you will answer 1 to 2 questions. And then multiple choice practice questions, you will do those as well. Now, each of those are worth 3 points. There's 15 opportunities for the summer, and I am taking the 12 highest scores. So you can be strategic there, and that way you can really make sure you maximize those points. Again, I'm taking the 12 highest out of 15 opportunities. The exam. So there'll be a midterm exam and a final exam. Here you can see the dates and then also the chapters that will be covered for each of those. And they will be timed, but you can start them whenever is comfortable for you. So you just need to pick a time within that week that you have a block of time, an hour and a half, to take them. They're going to be 5 multiple choice questions and 5 short answer questions. And there'll also be a weekly perusal assignment, a lecture where I go over and I review with you. So you'll be able to study and prep before you do that midterm. Then the article critique assignment. So the article critique assignment will be due towards the end of the semester. Once you've learned all the principles of design on July 17th, you will be able to choose an article that's interesting to you. You will read the article and then you will summarize and give critiques of the different components of design. I have an example for that, and we'll talk about that more when that gets closer. And then, of course, your research proposal paper and presentation. So your research proposal paper is a paper where you pick a topic of your choice, then you design a proposal for a piece of educational research that could be carried out to address that topic. Now, this is just a proposal, so you're not actually going to conduct this research. You won't have the ethical certificates and the IRB requirements yet to actually carry it out. So So for this course, you're focusing on writing a proposal. So it would be in future tense, what you would do. And so if you're panicking, like, oh my gosh, where am I going to find teachers to interview or students to observe? You're not actually collecting the data. So you're thinking about topics that you're interested in and then using the principles that we cover this summer to design a well thought out, well-designed proposal. And so as you get into the perusals and the weekly readings and lectures, I'll be making connections to the research proposal when it comes up and helping you think about it as we get to it. So I will, when we get closer, towards the end of June, you will turn in your first check-in for this assignment. So you'll turn in what you're thinking so far, and I can give you feedback to make sure that you're on the right track before you turn in the final paper. And lastly, you will do a video presentation going over and presenting your research proposal. So those are the major assignments. There is also an appendix here about how you register for the city training because it is a separate organization outside of Georgia State. And I'll also make a video next week to show you how to register for this and complete those modules. So that is our syllabus. So up next, I want to give you a tour of our iCollege and show you where you can find everything. So this is what my iCollege looks like. You can personalize it. So the announcements, I have my announcements here, and then I have this content navigator widget over on the right. So I can click to the different modules. And then I also have the calendar on the bottom, but again, you can personalize what this looks like. So every week I will give you, on Monday morning, I will give you the week 1 announcement, and it will look similar to the one that you clicked on today to see this video. So there'll be announcements for the week and then also your checklist. So you can see for this week, you're supposed to watch this video that you're watching right now. So excellent. That's the first step. Review the course syllabus. That way you have access to it. You know where to find that. Complete your class introduction via Google Slide. And then by Wednesday, here's what you need to do. And by Sunday. So I'm going to put the chapters that you read in the required text. And then this is your link to perusal to complete the assignment. And then I am also hosting a Zoom this week, so that Zoom link will be here, my email address. So the announcements is where you'll start each week to refresh yourself on what you need to do, and I'll also include all of the links there. So that is your announcements right here in the front of your iCollege. Now, when you click on content, content has all of the assignments. So I organized it by week. So we are on week 1. So you see the syllabus, your introduction slide, perusal 1 that you will do by Wednesday, and perusal 2 that you will do by Sunday. So you can also navigate through here, week 1, week 2. And again, I'll put links to that on the announcements tab. WebEx, we're not going to be using WebEx this semester. I'll be using Zoom. Now for the assessments tab, here you'll have assignments, you'll have quizzes. We don't have any discussions in this class, so it'll be 1 survey. And then I do have a rubric for the final paper, but again, there'll be links, but you'll be going to assignments and then quizzes for your midterm and your final. So when you go to assignments, you will see this is the city training certificate. This is where you will upload that certificate. Now, when you click on this assignment, your view might be slightly different than mine, but I have the information here, links for how you register, and I also have some review notes and slides for you. So you will have that available to you here. And then same thing for the research proposal. When you click on these, there'll be directions. There is a template and a sample. The quizzes that will not come up yet, but your midterm and your final, they're not available to you yet. But once we get closer, I will show you those. And then your grades, you can click over here to see your grades as we work through the semester. You can be checking in. no one's grades in there now. But you can be checking in bi-weekly to keep track of your grades. Again, the class is out of 100 points. So whatever your goal grade is, you can think about how you're working towards it. So same as on the syllabus, city training is 10 points, your weekly lecture and discussion. Now, again, there are 15 opportunities. You can see it goes to all the way here. Class introductions is really 1, and then through 13 plus these 2 is 15, and I'm taking the 12 highest. So that's why the max points you can get there is 36. So if you ever see something dropped, it's because it's taking the highest score there. Your article critique assignment, your exams, and then your research proposal and presentation. That first check-in is 4 points, and then the final paper is 10 or 12, and your presentation is 4 points. So that is what you need to know about iCollege. Again, go through the announcements tab every week, and then content. You can also use the content tab to get wherever you need to go. So the major thing so let's go ahead and take a look at what you're doing this week. So same thing as on the announcements. I'm doing an optional meet and greet this Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. on Zoom. If you would like to come in, ask any questions, introduce yourself, make sure that you understand all of the course policies and assignments, you can come in then at 11 a.m. So on Wednesday, by Wednesday, June 5th, we're going to start off going over the first 3 chapters of the text, and you are going to be doing your first perusal. So when you are on the announcements tab, click right here, complete perusal number 1. You can also find this week 1, perusal number 1. So when you click this link, it will take you here and you will open up perusal. It will take you to the app. So the first time that you log in, it will connect to your Georgia State email address and set up your assignment. It will automatically sync back and forth. So when you come to perusal number 1, this is what it will look like. So you can see that this is our class name up here, and this is your first assignment that you are doing. So the first part is always going to be a video lecture. This is going to be me going over the most important parts of the reading for that week. So as you push play, and then you can push pause to right here, add a comment. So if you have a question for me, sometimes I'll ask you a question, you can respond, or if you have a connection, you can put a comment there. That's called an annotation. So the way that you engage in perusal is by pausing and adding a comment and typing an annotation. Now, after you're done with the video, you'll go to part 2. You can also use these arrows for next part. Now, part 2 is the PowerPoint notes. So this goes along with your reading. It's summarizing the main ideas that you should have gotten from the text. Now, if you have any questions, if when you're reading the chapters, if there was a part that you didn't quite understand, this is where you can leave a question for me or for anyone in the class. I tried to highlight the main things that I wanted you to pay attention to. So these are just the review notes for you. Now, part 3, these are the questions. So for these each week, I want you to choose 1 question, maybe 2 questions to leave an annotation about. So for instance, it said, you can read through the questions. Maybe for instance, that you want to answer this question right here. It says, what are 2 variables you believe are positively correlated? Now, if you want to answer it, you highlight, and as you can see, the annotation box over here. So you can positively correlated would be when both variables increase. For example, higher temperatures are probably correlated with higher ice cream sales. Then you can post. So when you do an annotation, it will look like this. Now you can also ask me a question. Let's say that you have a question for me. Maybe I can't find myself, but you should be able to at me. You can ask me a question. You can ask everyone a question, for instance, at everyone, if you have a question for everyone. So that is how you do what we call annotations in Perusal. Let me just delete this. Okay, so then the last part is your multiple choice questions. Now, these are for practice, so you need to complete them, but if you get some of them incorrect, it will not ruin your score. So the way that I get your score from these, each one is worth 3 points, is for: did you watch the whole lecture? Did you read through all of the notes? So completion, did you read all the way through it? And then did you leave between 3 and 5 high quality annotations? So if we go to the syllabus, here you can see what I'm looking for the Perusal engagement. Annotation, so 3 to 5 per assignment. So you might leave 1 for the lecture video, you might answer 1 of the questions for each chapter, and then you might leave a comment on the lecture slides of something that either it reminded you of, a connection that you had. Or you might leave 2 on the video and answer 2 questions and then do the multiple choice. So when I'm looking for that, maybe a question that you have about the text, a connection about the text, a critique or a disagreement, a connection to an experience that you had, thinking about your classroom, thinking about something that you're interested in education or research, thinking about whatever subfield in education you're most interested in. So when you are completing these perusals, make it personal to you and try to comment based on what is most salient to you at that time. So that is what I'm looking for the Perusal engagements. And I know that it might take a perusal or 2 to practice, so I'll be giving you feedback on how you're doing on those. So I encourage you to go ahead and click on Perusal 1 as soon as you can, get started, watch the lecture video, leave a comment, review the slides, and start engaging with the Perusal so you can get comfortable with that, because again, it's our main mode of participation this semester, and it's where most of your points come through. So I find that most students really enjoy Perusal once they get used to it. You're also able to see your classmates' annotations and comments and answers to the discussion questions. So that's a great way to help you study and help you build confidence with the subject material. Okay, what else do I need to go over? So that is Perusal. I think that that is everything for this first week. Again, I will be on Zoom Wednesday morning, and I will also be on Perusal and on email. So if you have any questions at all as you get started, I encourage you to reach out via my email, and I'm excited for a great summer semester. Bye.